everybody. Thank you all for joining us again for another episode of the Keepin podcast. And before we get into the topic today, I just want to express appreciation to those of you who have taken time every single week to tune into episodes and leave DMs and comments. I appreciate that. And I kind of want to come on here and give a few announcements before we get into the topic today. This upcoming month, June, there will not be any new podcasts coming out for the month. And the reason being is because I have a lot of things going on with family and my personal life. I have a lot of things going on with my job. I just have a lot of things coming up. So in order for me to put my best self forward and give you all what you all deserve, I'm going to take a month long of a break. And in that break, excuse me, I plan to redesign the thumbnail. I plan to redesign the format of how the channel is displaying the content. I plan to change the music and maybe the outro and the intro. And I also plan, when I come back in July, I'm going to discuss a few more sensitive discussions that probably not everyone is comfortable hearing. I'm going to be discussing things that's going on in the world from my perspective, and I kind of want to give my perspective on me as a Christian. And so I said at the very beginning, the very first episode, that I may make some podcasts regarding those things. So I'm letting you all know today that if you do not want to hear those things, I don't suggest that you listen in the month of July. And back in August, we will see where everything goes. I also plan to get back to making reaction videos and maybe making some showing my face, but we will see. I just hope that you all will just kind of keep track of the social medias, my Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and that is where I will provide all the updates. In the month of June, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to completely disregard everyone and just not post anything. I will post things on my Instagram and Snapchat. So be on the lookout for that. But in terms of YouTube, if you are wanting to hear a podcast, just going and listening to all of the old ones that have been posted already. Go and listen to them in order, and there's a reason for that. Every month or every week that I post something, it is related to a certain theme. So if you go and listen to them in order, starting from the 1st to the 11th, it will make more sense instead of listening to it out of order, and you'll be on track. I may even separate some of the podcasts and make new names for it, because I don't want the political discussions to be in the same realm as like kind of giving advice and giving a godly perspective on life. So that's some updates about what's to come, and I hope you all will follow me along on that journey. And I just appreciate those who have been truly supporting the channel, putting thumbs up on it, and sending me DMs about the episodes that have been released. I really appreciate that, and I look forward to making new ones. But in regards to today, and again today, this episode will be released on May 31st. It's going to be pre-recorded because the day that it's released, I will actually not be home with the equipment. So just be sure to listen, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be reacting or responding to any of your comments if you leave them. But in last week's episode, we discussed grief. And the week before that, we discussed conflict. And before that, we discussed bullying, and we had two separate episodes on that. Today, we're going to discuss patience. And the reason being is because if you've listened to the past episodes from this month, some of the situations that we've discussed, it can be hard to kind of not be patient and wait for the Lord to step in. We just want things to just get better, with a snap of a finger. But in life, we can't have it that way. If we truly trust in God, we will have the best result. And we realize that waiting on God is actually better than going ahead of us. I always say, you know what, if we go ahead of God's timing, it never works out. It never works out. And that means, stepping ahead of Him in relationships, where we end up in a relationship that isn't good for us. It's best just to wait on the Lord to bring someone into our lives, because when He does, that person will be the best for us. I'm not saying that we're not going to experience toxicity. No relationship is going to be perfect. And just because we are waiting on God, it doesn't mean that the relationship is going to be perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that it will be likely to last a whole lot longer than stepping ahead of His timing. You don't want to do that. Stepping ahead of His timing in any situation. This can even be in conflict, where we want to go and confront the person who we are conflicting with. You don't want to do that. You want to wait on God's timing. There's been situations where I have just wanted to basically just go tell someone what is truly on my mind. And sometimes it's just best not to do that, because we end up reacting out of anger. We never want to react out of anger. We want to react out of love. We won't never want to cause someone or cause ourselves to act in a way that does not represent who we are in Christ. And if we go and disrespect someone, if we go and, if we go and basically be toxic and exude toxicity, that's what we'll get back in return. And that's not going to help in our walk with Jesus. Our goal as Christians is to be more and more like Jesus as the days go on. And our goal is also to bring people closer to Jesus. So when we step ahead of Him and we go and tell someone off, and we go and be disrespectful, knowing full well that's not who we are, and that's not who Christ wants us to be, we're not exemplifying who Jesus wants us to be. We're not exemplifying to that unbeliever what the true Christian love is. That's why so many people do not want to become Christians, because we see people who claim to be godly but act ungodly. And we talked a lot about hypocrisy in past episodes, but that's why it's important to wait on God's timing. Waiting on His timing is the best thing you can do. You will not end up in conflict. You will not end up in a situation that you can't get out of. But if you just lay your faith and put your trust in Jesus 100%, you won't regret it. And it's okay to be anxious sometimes. No one's going to be perfect. But we got to remember to trust in Him. We got to put more trust in Him than we do ourselves, because we're going to end up letting our own selves down. You don't want to do that. If we put our trust in family and friends, we're really going to let ourselves down, because family and friends, they can let you down quicker than we do ourselves. So to get the best effort and the best result, put your trust in your love in Jesus, and I can guarantee you won't regret it. And I'm not saying that's just to be saying it. I've been through it, and I'm actively dealing with it. Just curious about the unknown. It's just, we're like, God, give me some answers. But God's not going to put more on us than we can bear. So put your trust on Him. Read your word. Surround yourself with people who are going to love you and exemplify the love that you need and is going to surround you with love. Do that for yourself. Don't put more on your own plate than you can handle. Give your burdens and your worries to God and let Him handle it. Because if you truly trust Him and you truly have faith in Him, there's nothing to worry about. So be patient, be still, wait on Him, and you will not regret it. I thank you all for tuning in this week for another episode. And as I stated at the very beginning, I'm gonna have to take a month-long break. And I know this episode was not that long, but in order for me to put my full effort into these episodes, I've got to take the time necessary for me to put that full effort in. And I plan when I come back for the episodes to be even longer. So stay tuned for that. I hope you all have had a great day, and I hope you all continue to have a great day. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you'd like, or put a thumbs up on the video. And please leave a DM if you want to talk about this in more detail. I look forward to hearing from you, and take care.